Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. Growing in God, here for a better way. God bless you as you grow. Honey, God is good. God is so good. God is so graceful. God is so merciful. Here we are. Here we stand, growing in God. Here we stand with the plan of the man, and that's to grow. That's to rise. That's to sow. That's to touch. That's to lift some more. So here we grow, growing in God. I love you though. Love you too. Look in the mirror and tell you I love you. You know, say that too. And sow love too while you at it for the breakthrough. You know, so you can have love all around you. We got to sow love everywhere we grow. I'm so grateful and thankful to just be a part of growth. To just be here growing in God with you. You know, growing for the breakthrough, because we gonna grow anyway. Excuse me, honey. I'm getting out there. I'm getting off and running. That's what's happening. I'm getting off and running, raring to go. You know, getting ready. I was getting ready before I was ready. You know, getting ready, always ready. I stay ready, Freddie. You know, so here I grow. I'm telling you, honey. The spirit of the freedom fighters, you know, their legacies, you know, are growing with me. You know, they're carrying me. You know, God sent the beloved ancestral spirits. They all around you. But guess what? Hold up. Wait a minute. You know, it's some evil in it. You know, it's some evil out there too. See, because people allow evil to use them. Honey, let me bring it down a notch or two. People allow evil to use them. They allow evil to get the evil breakthrough. You know, being a pawn of evil. Now, you're going to be a pawn of evil, or you're going to be a pawn of God's. You know, or you're going to allow God to use you. It's something, you know, and the oppression that's all around us. You can't even really wrap your head around it. You know, when you turn on the news, there it go. You know, I mean, it's evil all around you, you know, to and fro, seeking whom it may devour. You don't have to be doing anything as you see. You know, you just be doing a parade, just going to the library, going to the store. You know, going for a walk in the park, going for a jog, going to the bank, just going about your everyday flow. You know, trying to reach your greatest. And then there it go. There go the evil. There go the oppression. The oppression is all around us. So what we trying to do, kings and queens, we trying to drive the evil and hate out and make the world great. You know, changing hearts and minds to grow. You know, tell somebody to grow. Tell somebody to reach their great. Reach out to somebody. You know somebody. Reach out to somebody. Just tell them I love you. You know what we going to do? We going to strive every day, you know, to get the breakthrough. We going to strive with God. We're going to put God first. We're going to raise up because God, the praise of God stays on my heart and in my soul, honey, just stays there, down in there, you know. I just took it out there. I took the oppression out on me, you know, but now I love me. I truly do. You know, I like me then, but I really love me, you know, who I am, you know, me for me, who I am, you know, God in me, because I know who I am in God. I know what they said about me. Matter of fact, I know what they told me. Some of them told me to my face. Y'all know what they told me. You know, some of them didn't have the audacity to turn around and say it behind my back. They said it to my face. They had the audacity to say it in my face. Well, God got the audacity to tell me that I am somebody. You know, to keep on growing in God, to keep on rising with the side. You know, take the rain that came and grow. You know, link up, lock up. We're going to grow some more. We're going to rise up here. You know, we're going to grow over the evil that's out there, the spiritual warfare. We're going to use love. Use love on your niece over there. You know, use love. I know what she said to you there. Use love on her. I know he still owe you that money from way back then. Use love on him. That's what he need, honey. Use love. That's what we need. That's what we came in the world with, was love. That was it, honey. God is love. You know, God done carried thee. Look at you, you know, a warrior on top for God. You done came through the battle, may have some battle scars, you know, may have some missing pieces. But I'm going to tell you something, honey. You done came through the battle. You done came through the battle on top for God. Yo, you still a warrior here to give your testimony, to lift someone else. to help someone else. That's what it's about. It ain't about you. It ain't about self. It ain't what you got. It ain't what you got going on, what you got there. It's about lifting others. That's what we here for, to come together, sister and brother, from another mother, but the same Father God. We got to go forth in God. You got the side. It's down in there, honey. I know what they say. I trust, honey. I can tell you some stories that have you crying. You won't believe it. I sit down here and tell you some things and you get up and walk away shaking your head. Forget about what you getting ready to say. I tell you some stuff. Let me go first. See, I'm telling you, but woe is not you, grow is you. We can sit up and trade stories and cry all day long over a bucket of ice cream. Where that's going to get us, huh? That's what you can cry, but what it's going to get you? Grow over. It's time to rise. It's time to keep moving. Keep it moving. Because we got God. We already got God. We already blessed. We got God and we already blessed. Ain't that something? All we got to do is keep growing on in God. God is love. In the end, let me tell you something over there. In the end, when you get through twisting and bending God for your own sick, twisted, bended purposes, and you get it all, what you got ain't gonna buy you in. It ain't gonna buy you in the kingdom. You're gonna lose your soul. What for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? You're gonna lose your soul over things. Things don't mean anything. Like I told you, honey, and I'm serious about this. I'd rather ride around in something nobody want than something everybody want, because then I won't have it. For real. You won't have it. Your eyes looking at you, all eyes on you when you rolling down the road. No, that ain't none of me, honey. Go ahead on. Go ahead on with things. Things don't mean anything. Ain't nothing going with me. I can buy the best Gucci. I can buy this, buy that. It ain't going with me. I'm going out the way I came in. And back again. Because I'm going to keep on growing in God. I can't turn no other way. It ain't no other way. Ain't nothing else out there but the spiritual warfare way, and I was dying that way. I was out there dying, honey, and about to die. I was about to just go ahead and take out, because that 6-foot weapon that came up in my life, that came in the go-between, in the break right there. Let me tell you something. That 6-foot weapon that formed against me, honey, did not prosper. What almost prospered was me over me, but God saved me from me. God delivered me from myself. See, because I'd already begun to believe what they said about me. What they said is, they said that. I can't love, I can't have nothing. I can't love, don't nobody want my love. Don't nobody want this, nobody want that. And then there it is. I'm telling you, honey, there go God. But God, grow. God spoke it. God told me so, told me to grow, lifted me when I had nobody. You hear me? Lifted me when I had nobody. He told me to grow. Then told me, tell them to grow. It's time. That's what you here for. Tell them to grow. You here to grow and tell them to grow. You here to rise, reach your great. Just like that great tree you stand up there and look at. Rise to reach his greatness till it die. Somebody come cut it down, whatever. Just like the oppression, come along and cut you down. Ain't that something? You ain't got to be doing nothing, just standing there on your own. What does a tree do to anybody? Just standing there, and rise and reach its greatness till somebody use it for evil purposes or cut it down, just cut it down for something else, for some paper. Eventually, I guess it'll grow back up. It takes a long time for a tree to start back up after somebody cut it down to a stump. Just think about you. Somebody done cut you down to a stump. Honey, I was a stump. So I didn't think I could grow no more. I didn't think I could come up from that stump. But honey, look at me. I'm a queen growing in God. Walking godly each and every day, daily. Seeking God, the tracker on God. Where the tracker at is on God. I'm bringing the harvest up. When is the harvest? It's coming up, God. We growing. We rising and sowing. We lifting and touching, just like they out there out there at the lighthouse. Sowing, mowing, growing, whatever they doing, cutting, clipping, snipping. Making all that noise. That's what I do for God, honey. That's why I keep going up octaves, because I'm doing all this mowing, sowing, growing, snipping, clipping, moving, shifting, doing all of this, a shift in the atmosphere. The presence of the Lord is here. So we growing here. We gonna keep on growing, God. I got to. For the breakthrough. Here come the train. Here come the soul train, honey. And we growing. We sowing love on the soul train. Love, peace, and soul each and every day. Tell somebody that you love. If you love them, and I know you do, tell them to grow with us too. Tell them to grow for the breakthrough, honey. You ain't got time for that gossip and foolishness, because see, that ain't gonna get you nowhere. Get you all caught up, back up in the spiritual warfare, just going chaos, negativity, and drama circle. See, because what you sow, there you shall reap. So you sow into foolishness, and there go foolishness. I'm telling you something, honey. I'm telling you, you sow into foolishness, there go foolishness. My first husband, I used to clown with him. That's the one I messed up with, but things happen for a reason, because I got my beautiful daughter. But I used to clown with him. And that's when Jerry Springer first came out. And I used to watch it. I used to watch Jerry Springer because I used to laugh. He used to come on at night. And but Jerry went on off, doing some other things, and I didn't grow. I had to grow in God. So I don't watch none of that no more. But back then I'd sneak and watch it. I recorded on the DVR, sneak and watch it, but the baby, my husband go to work and the baby be there, and he going around the house, hollering Jerry. He just barely started to talk there. That was his first word, was Jerry. He running around the house, Jerry, but my husband couldn't figure out what he was saying. He said, what he say? I said, he ain't saying nothing. And I would tell the baby, no, don't say Jerry. I would tell him all the time, like in baby talk, no, don't say Jerry. But no matter what I say, Brandon, he run around anyway. Jerry. And he figured it out one day, my husband. He figured out that the baby was saying Jerry. And then there we went. We were fighting. Because of me, I was being hard-headed. I'm watching Jerry Springer. The baby running around the house hollering Jerry. And so there went the chaos, negativity, and drama all up in, we going at it, and that's where it started, Jerry. But like I said, things happen for a reason. We grow on the journey in this highway of life. We grow on the journey. People get on and off our life. Sometimes people get off and they never get back on. But we got the journey on. We got to keep on pressing on. Keep on pushing, hallelujah. No matter what, people gonna throw stumbling blocks. It's gonna be traffic jams. Prayerfully none you cause. Prayerfully none nobody else cause. But it's gonna be traffic jams. The rain gonna come on the just and the unjust. So what we got to do is moving on just us. Just moving on till it come to righteousness and genuine equality. We got to keep on rolling on full steam on this mighty soul train. We got to keep on rolling on in God, honey, because I'm going to tell you something. One day, as we growing, just like he said, I see the promised land. He saw us growing. So look, one day we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through that great celebrity reign. We coming through. And honey, then the world going to know about growth. We going to be growing. We going to really be growing, because I plan on sowing the seeds of love all around the world. All around the world. We're going to rise up in God, because his dream is our dream. His dream is our dream. And we're going to roll on full steam on this mighty soul train. God help us. God bless us. God help us. God bless us. God help us. God bless us. God help us as we grow. God bless us. God help us. God bless us. God help us. God bless us. God help us. God bless us as we grow. God bless you as you grow, kings and queens, each and every day. God bless you as you sow, as you rise for a better way. Just like anything else that's rising and striving to reach its greatness, honey, why shouldn't you, rise too? Strive for a better way. We're going to turn from the spiritual warfare way. It's time to turn, old ways are put away. We don't think that way no more. We become a legend. We become transformed by renewing of our mind. Old ways are turned away or tossed away. We don't even look that way. You know, we look this way. We look towards greatness. Destination up ahead, greatness. We strive in each and every day for greatness. Greatness in God. You know, greatness in God. Put the tracker on the Lord. Put the tracker on God and seek God each and every day as you grow, kings and queens, for a better way. One day, one sweet day, as the glory comes and as we grow for the breakthrough, I will be able to give you God's daily wisdom straight from God to you without any interruptions. It's just that, around the lighthouse, within the lighthouse is noise all the time. Wherever I go is noise all the time. It's always noise. And so as I sow and as I grow, one day I strive for peace, to really truly have peace, to be able to receive the wisdom, to be able to give the wisdom, just peace all around me. That's what I seek each and every day is peace. I grow for peace. I thank God for the peace that I do get, because I didn't used to have no peace. It wasn't no kind of peace of peace. I didn't have no peace. It was screaming and hollering around me all the time. Somebody screaming and hollering, trying to control me. If I wasn't doing just this just right or doing that just right, ripping and running me, telling me, somebody always telling me how to dress. I couldn't even dress for myself. Couldn't even walk inside a store and pick out nothing I wanted to. I had to run it by. Is this okay? Run it by him. Run it by the narcissist. Is this okay for me to wear this? Otherwise it's going to be a great big fight. Control. That's what people do. You accept who they are. Just accept you. You don't accept this person. I'm telling you something. That's one thing I noticed about celebrities. They dress the way they want to dress, and they go outside. They put on whatever look they think look good, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing to them. Oh, look what so and so got. Oh, wow, that's a fashion statement. But honey, look, I want to make my own fashion statement because I'm gonna wear what look good to me. I don't care what they think or what they may think about this or that and the other. The only person I do ask is my grandson. Y'all get his advice. He give me wisdom. But honey, I like to just dress for me and put on what I think look good to me. See, because look, I used to straighten up, press it up, and press everything, straighten everything, even down to my crinkled hair. Straighten that too, because that wasn't right there. You don't try to straighten up for somebody else. That don't match there. That don't look right. Hey, what you got now? Don't put them on. Put them on. But I like these. Well, I want to wear these. No, I like them. Otherwise it's gonna be a big old fight. They're going to raise up, so you better go ahead on. And it's going to mess up the whole day. Because then what they'll do, they'll stop talking to you. Won't talk to you for days and days and days. See, because you done messed it up. You got to always give in and bend in. So that's why I'm so thankful and grateful to have peace, honey. I can shout to the mountaintop and trust I have. I hollered out the window, grow all over the world. I want everybody to have peace. Man, woman, boy, and girl, I want everybody to live free of evil, of the spiritual warfare out there. That the evil that people are allowed to control them there. That people are allowed to use them. People allow evil to use them. That's just, all it is. You can't sit there and wrap your head and try to comprehend why he do that, why that, who would shoot a baby. Who would shoot a baby though? Who would shoot a baby? Who would do something to a baby? That's what out of all the evil. That's the worst of the worst, is doing something to someone who's so innocent. So you just can't wrap your head around it. You can't understand. There ain't no comprehending that, except to know that they allowed evil to use them when you need to allow God to use you. Don't even step off into chaos, negativity, and drama that's there, because that's going to pull you in there. Turn it around for good, turn it around for God. Good shall follow you. That's what you got to do. Put a trail of God and good. Just a trail. A sweet son of love. As you're walking by, there you go, the trail of love. Just as you see on the video, the mom and the dad, and then here come the trail of dancing kids. That's a legacy. A trail of love. That's what that is. King, queen, and the little kings and queens coming up behind them, looking at them. Those the role models who they look to. You know, who they walk after, who they follow after. You know, they may look like them and walk like them and act like them, but they ain't them. You know, so they got to raise them up to be legacies, you know, to be legends, you know, to look after them, you know, to look to them as a role model. I ain't perfect. You know, I tell my kids all the time, I ain't perfect, you know, but I strive to be, you know, y'all didn't come with no how-to books. Didn't nobody tell me what to do. I did the best. The doctor, even the doctor that gave you to me, say, here you go. There go your baby. Go ahead. You got 2 days in here. Rest up because you don't need it. And then there you go, you know, and there you grow. So, see, they didn't come with books. He didn't leave me. I was looking at, there wasn't no book in the diaper bag, you know, that nice book they give you and stuff, all them little nice things they give you when you have a baby. He even gave us a dinner. There you go. Take your baby and go. You know, you're on your own. You know, well, okay, doc, but listen. Now you're on your own. Now that's your baby. You didn't have it. We helped you have it. There you go. You know, time to go. So see, children, kids, you know, we all under oppression here. Didn't nobody come with no how-to books. People did the best they could. You know, and you will realize when you become a parent, you do the best you can. That's all you can do. Do the best you can. You're going to make mistakes too. That's why pencils come with erasers. You're going to make mistakes, honey, but then what you do, you take the L, the lesson. You know, because when the teacher get through grading, she going to give you that lesson. There, take that lesson. She going to give it back to you. Take that. Here. Now look over that. See where you messed up at and take the lesson and learn from that. You know, and grow from that. You know, that's what she tell you. You know, she tell you, take your peer. Give you a problem. You know, a great big problem. Give you a problem. Now you talking about a problem. Teacher gave you problems. That teacher gave you, you know, back then, but it was all in love to teach you something. And still is. You know, teachers don't get the respect that they deserve, that they earn, because they took God out of school. You know, when you take God out of school, what you expect gonna happen? It's gonna be filled with fools, you know, just full of fools. You know, not everybody a fool. There's some folks in there trying to get right, trying to get an education there. But honey, it's some foolishness. You know, all up in the school, clown show, you know, worse than what it was back then. Because, see, we got paddle. We got, you know, we knew. You know, you can only take it so far. You know, food fights, stuff like that, that's about as far as you can take it. You know, I'm telling you something. Slap a teacher? Bet not. No, honey. Times have changed. You know, times have changed, and a whole lot of things have changed. Change with the times. But we got to change too. Change comes within. Change is hard to do, but we got to. We got to change for a better way. We got to change hearts and minds to grow for tomorrow today. So we got to change. You know, change. Look in the mirror. It's time to look at you. What can you do? How can you make it better for tomorrow too? How can you make it better as you go out today? Because you got to go out there. How you going to make it better for you today, for them today, for everybody? That way everybody can have a good day. See, because it's like a chain effect, you know, the change. Because once you change, that's when you can change everything around you. That's the ripple effect you looking for the breakthrough. Turn around and change you. You know, don't just go with the ripple and just keep on going this way with the spiritual water. No, turn around and change that ripple. Make that ripple go back the other way. Hey, look, we coming with some love. We walking up on some love. Hey, look, we bringing love here. We changing up this ripple effect. Turn around this way for the breakthrough. You know, walk it on back. Walk it out. You know, walk it out that way. Don't let the evil take over you that way. Don't let the evil control you, because evil will. Don't let evil run you. You know, let God use you. Let God do you. You know, don't do you. Let God do you. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. All over the world, kings and queens just want to give you some word, some love. Let you know God is love. God loves you. Be lifted. Be encouraged. Be lifted in the Lord. I love you. Let's rise.